Hi, I'm Chef Alexandros, and today I'm gonna cook for you my favorite recipe with Epiros feta. Epiros feta is the most awarded feta since 2007, with 11 awards in international competitions. So let's start cooking. This recipe is basically PhylloWrapped feta, which is shallow fried in olive oil and completed with a drizzle of honey and toasted sesame. It's the perfect way to get the whole creaminess and flavor out of this beautiful cheese. So let's get started. It's a very simple recipe that requires a roll of phyllo dough. So let's start by opening our phyllo dough. We have cut our feta in about 4 inches, which will give it enough body so when we fry it, it can melt and show us all the creaminess it can provide. So let's start off by placing our feta in the center of the phyllo dough. We do not need to put any spices, any peppers, any salt. The whole flavor is right there in the cheese. It's a very simple procedure. We grab a couple of phyllo doughs carefully because they're very brittle, wrap them around this wonderful piece of cheese, and keep on rolling until we have successfully covered the cheese on all sides. That simple. We cut off the excess sides. We don't want too much phyllo dough because it will cover the taste and will not allow it to melt properly in the frying pan. So we have cut the excess, and with a little bit of liquid, in this case we'll use Greek olive oil, we damp the sides just enough so we can help it stick. Exactly like this. We repeat the action from the other side. The moisture from the feta will also help the phyllo stick onto the cheese. And here we go. Our little feta pocket is ready. Let's make another one. Again, we place our 4-inch piece of feta in the middle of the dough. Grab a couple of phyllos, roll them around the cheese, basically creating a pocket to engulf the feta. And here we go. Like we said before, we don't want too much phyllo to overwhelm the feta. We want to get all the brininess and all that rich flavor out of the cheese. No need for our phyllo anymore. We wrap it and leave it on the side. Again, as we did before, we add some liquid, not necessarily oil. We can add some water, we can add some of the honey, just something to help it stick. Taking off first the excess phyllo. Here we go. Dampening it just a bit. All around. And just wrap it carefully to make sure it does not open up during our frying process. There we go. Another wonderful Epiros feta pocket. We preheat our olive oil to 180 degrees. Just enough to give it the perfect simmer and crunch that it needs from the outside. I prefer to use olive oil because it gives it this wonderful golden color, but you can use any oil you prefer. It is very important for our oil to reach the proper temperature so we can create a perfect crust from the outside and the feta cheese will melt properly and give us the creamy flavor that we need. I think our oil is just about ready, so let's get frying. Carefully place it on a spatula and from a low distance drop it in. You don't want oil going all over the place. Next piece, into the fire. We can see how the phyllo is puffing up. This is gonna give it a wonderful crust and flavor. We'll let it fry for a few minutes on the one side and then flip it to the other side so we can continue frying. What we're looking for is for a golden crust and color from the outside, which will contrast beautifully with the honey, toasted sesame, and black sesame seeds. So let's give it about a minute and give it a switch to the other side. You can almost smell the feta melting inside, giving out all its aromas, those beautiful milks that are used to create Epiros feta cheese. And in no time, we'll be able to see why it truly deserves all 11 awards it has gotten since 2007. It's about time to check the other side and see how it's going. To make sure you don't burn yourself, use a spoon to help you flip it over. Ooh, perfect, look at that color. Golden brown, melting in the inside. All these flavors, all these textures are gonna ooze out immediately as we cut it. Let's turn our second piece Wonderful, wonderful. I'm looking forward to putting the honey and the sesame over it. It's gonna give it such a great contrast. The creaminess, that brine, in comparison to the sweetness and the stickiness of the honey, it's gonna create a dish like you've never tasted before. I think we're just about ready to remove the feta out of our fire. Bring your cutting board right next to it. You don't want the burning oil to drip all over your kitchen. There you go. Look at that color. I only wish you were here to smell it. Wonderful. So let's start plating this beauty. Here we take our dish. Let's cut off some of the excess phyllo, even though I don't think there's a reason to. Listen to that crunchiness. Fantastic. Really looking forward to this. Look at that. And now that it's still warm, drizzle this beautiful Greek honey over it. Look at that. The comparison of the salt, the brininess, the sweetness of this wonderful honey. And let's continue by decorating it. Give it some black sesame seeds on top. And some toasted white sesame seeds. What a meal. Truly, what a wonderful meal. And let me show you what's going inside in this. You can just feel the Epiros feta melting. Who wouldn't love to have this for lunch?